Hi folks, Debbie Ray here, the gardener wife, with a December garden tour. That's right, I'm doing a garden tour in the wintertime because it's been rather warm lately, close to 50, so I managed to do some more work out here. Lots of things that I failed to get done in the fall. So I'm going to give you an update on what's been done. We're starting out here in our side yard where I've slowly but surely been working on a new courtyard style garden that's going to come in here. You may remember that in late fall, before things got really cold, I finally painted the mantle that I got from Shauna Coronado, and it's just protected with some plastic for the winter. And I also finally planted several new plants I'd collected at mostly at a couple garden shows from proven winners. And I got them in the ground, but it wasn't until yesterday that I came out here and protected them with these donut mounds of compost from my compost bin. So now I can worry less about whether these guys will make it through the winter. And I'm glad of that. I'm glad that the compost bin wasn't frozen solid. And I could do that. So eventually I'll be getting a nice dark mulch out here for the whole beds and be planting more, of course, in the spring. So things are coming along nicely for what is eventually going to be called my Mackinac Island garden. And I have yet to decide whether I'm going to leave these trees out here in their containers. I would have to put mulch around them or take them into the garage and protect them there. This is fairly sheltered. This is the north side of the house. I've got the house on one side, the fence on the other, so not a lot of wind gets back here, so I think everything is going to be fine. You see that I have flags marking the location of my plants. I do that especially in a more established garden beds so that I know which of the many new plants are, which of the many plants in there are new ones. But before I took the plant tags away, here's a tip if you have trouble remembering what you planted where. I took a picture of each location where the plants were and a picture of their plant tags. And then also for this garden I did a video too, just walking around and looking at the plant tags and where the plants were. And that way when things pop back up in the spring I'll be able to identify them correctly. So that was the first main project that I took care of yesterday. One of the last things I did, just because I could, was I added yet another thing to my containers on the deck. Since I got some free Christmas tree trimmings from Lowe's, I just stuck them in the one undone pot at the back here and added some of my galvanized metal ornaments that I was not using. So now I have this there, as well as all the containers here that you have seen before. And that's the deck. We will make our way down the yard here. Hello. This is my asparagus bed. So I did what you see growing in here now are weeds. I trimmed the dried fern-like foliage down, and I took it over to the strawberry bed. You'll see that in a minute, but I'm using that instead of straw, as well as clippings from the herb bed to protect the strawberry beds rather than buying straw, which is gonna blow all around anyway. These are things I'm gonna have to clean up. This is the backyard cottage style garden, and I did a little bit of cleanup in here. I tend to leave most of the stuff up, partly for winter interest and partly for birds and animals, but I am usually careful to take down things that are prone to powdery mildew, like the phlox and the peonies. So I got to those and a few other things. And then I used more of that compost from the bin and I put it around the new plants that are in here, as well as around my roses. The roses here and also in the front yard are now better protected for the winter. And then I used the last bit of mulch to put a layer in this corner here where the lilac is, and this is where I had my Midsummer Night's Dream fairy garden, and that's been taken down for the winter. But now oh, and one of the little plants I got, a boxwood, is in there. So with the new layer of compost, I can think about planting more things when I set up the fairy garden again in the spring. And here, not much change in the kitchen garden. I trimmed a few more of the herbs, and like I said, here's the strawberry bed now. And the areas where I had strawberry plants, I have now protected with the asparagus and some other trimmings in here. And next I'm just going to show you the compost that I was using for this project. And that's the bin that I emptied yesterday that had the most finished compost in it. And then I took compost from my spinning compost bin by the garage, and I took most of what was in there and put it in here. So this is going to get covered up for the winter, and I mix it with a few layers from this bin over here that has mostly dried grass and some leaf clippings in there. So that's progress in the ongoing compost making project too. So I'm glad to have gotten a few more things done in December, and I'm glad that you're watching. I hope you got some tips for taking care of your own gardens in late fall, early winter. Thanks for watching.